So let's take a look at some magnifiers now. When you use your own magnifier, do you have your glasses on?
Yes, I do.
You do. Okay, let's see what you can do with your own combination first. I'll give you the card. And that's the magnifier from home.
Mule.
Good.
Selfish.
Excellent.
Unlabelled. Desk. Satisfy.
It's a bit tough.
No, I can't read that next one.
Okay, now the light did help before, so let's see what happens with extra light.
Turbulence.
Excellent. And that's about it, yeah.
I can't get the next one.
That's okay, you've done very well. So you did fairly well with your own magnifier. We have looked at glasses and we found that stronger normal glasses weren't going to help. Let's take a look and see what happens if we get some very strong glasses on you. Okay, I'll just get them down. Now these are very strong. And as you know, the benefit of glasses is that you'll be hands-free. You won't actually have to hold them. But because they're so strong, you'll have to hold things very close. So if I just tilt the lamp a bit.
Mule.
Excellent.
Selfish.
Good.
Unlabelled.
Good.
Desk.
Good.
Satisfy.
Good. Does it help if I push it a bit closer again?
Yes, that's much
good.
better.
And keep going.
I can read the next one now.
Good.
Unlabelled.
Good.
Desk.
Good.
Satisfy.
Good. Does it help if I push it a bit closer again?
Turbulence. No.
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 Okay, so it's about the same as your own glasses, but you do have to hold things very close.
Yes.
So let's take a look at some stronger magnifiers in the same style as you've had before. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you your glasses back because I know you use those. These are the handheld magnifiers. This is a bit stronger than yours. So I'll switch the light on and see how you go with that. Can you find desk?
Unlabelled. Desk.
Yes.
Satisfy.
Good.
Turbulence.
Good.
Smattering.
Excellent.
It's funny, I can't get that next one.
That's okay. Turbulence is pretty good. What if you move the lens a
If I
bit?
bring it up closer.
Yeah, if you move it up.
No,
No, that's okay. What do you think of the size of that?
that's not much different than it
Not
was
much bigger.
before with that.
No. So you still want something a bit bigger across the
Yes,
page?
yeah.
Let's try something a bit bigger. Unfortunately, when they get bigger, they also get a bit weaker. And let's see how this one goes. So it is a bit bigger. And because it's square, you can possibly get a column in there.
Desk.
Yes.
Satisfy.
Good.
Turbulence.
Good.
But you see, I cannot get that next word now.
Okay. Okay, so if we made it bigger, you can actually achieve about the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's better for you then.
Yeah.
We'll tuck that aside. Let's take a look at something that's stronger than that very first one. So this is one step stronger again. It is smaller, but let's see if we can get you underneath turbulence.
Mattering?
Very good. And I'm
No, smattering.
very good. And I'm very mean because I'm going to make you go underneath smattering now.
Now, harness.
Good.
Land.
Good.
And nothing. I can't
That's
read.
okay. You've done very well. Making it stronger really did help then.
Yes, it
We've
did.
compromised a bit on the size, just a little bit, but we've actually gotten down a lot further.
Yes, that did help.
So that did help. Okay, so
Yes.
we'd say of the handheld ones, that's the best.
Yes.
Okay. You did really well there with the handheld magnifiers. But one of the problems with the handheld magnifiers, you know, is that you've got to hold it up. So you're holding it off the page and your hands can get very tired. So let's take a look at something that's a little bit more stable, something that actually sits straight on the page so you don't need to lift it up. So if I pop this on top of the page, it sits a bit like a paperweight.
Ah,
Yep, so you can slide it across and up and down, but you don't need to lift it up. What can you find there?
that's not as good as that last one
It's
I
not
had.
as good. What can you see with this one?
I can only get down to satisfy.
Okay, That's all right. This one isn't as strong actually. Now this also sits on the page and it's got a bit more strength to it, and it's also got its own light. So if you take a look through there, you can lean forward if you need to.
I can't see down into it.
Okay, let's tilt it up a bit then, and I'll help you hold it.
Selfish, unlabelled, desk, satisfy, turbulence, smattering. No, I can't get that next one.
That's okay.
And I can't remember it either.
It's good you can't remember it. Okay, so you did pretty well. Still not as good as a handheld.
No.
Let's go a bit stronger with this one. Okay, so we'll stay in the same type, but we'll go get a bit stronger.
Plus, they're very awkward, aren't they?
They are a bit awkward, and they do have those sides, which means that if you don't have a light in there, it's too dark to see.
Right, I'm down to satisfy, turbulence,
Yes,
smattering,
good,
harness,
good.
and I'm not sure again, but I think it's and.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
it's pretty small. You've done very well there.
So that's
Did
better.
you like that one better
That's better than that.
than that? Okay, even though it's a bit smaller, you'd prefer that.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So we'll put this one aside as one of our favourites too then.
So Anthea, Peggy was able to read N12 print with a standard 4-diopter edition. We need to think about what goal size print she wants to be able to achieve. And really most small print, newspaper print or labels on items of food, for example, are N8, N6, even smaller than that. We also need to think about allowing some spare capacity. So spare capacity, an extra few lines or so, means that she'll have a little more fluent reading rather than just being at her threshold. So the goal for her is really around about N4, let's say, and we'd figure out how much magnification she would need simply by a ratio. We'd divide the 12 size print that she was reading by the 4, which is what she wants to achieve, and come up with a magnification or enlargement level of about 3 times. That's about equivalent to a 12 diopter high edition. We noted that she'd been using that little pocket magnifier. That's about a 6 diopter lens, so it only provides about 1.5 times magnification. So it's not surprising she was struggling a little bit with that.
Yeah. And then May went really nicely into, she knew how much magnification she needed to give Peggy, so she started to think about the options. And I do it similarly to May, that I start with glasses, because unless you start with those, it's what patients want, stronger glasses. So go there first. With 3 times, she would have needed 12 diopter glasses to really see well. I think May gave her something a little bit lower just to give it a try. But we could see that Peggy was struggling to use that close working distance. And I find that a lot with patients that get low vision later in life. For those that have had them all their life, they're used to using the close working distance, but not surprisingly, Peggy found the close working distance pretty difficult. So then May went and had a look at some hand magnifiers, and Peggy had already been using that type of device, so it was a device that she picked up and could use without any instruction. You could see that straight away. And May showed her, amongst some other hand magnifiers, this 3 times, which we know is about the right magnification for her. And this is a great device because it's illuminated, it's large enough that you can fit a column width at a time when you're reading the newspaper. So, you know, Peggy did quite well with that. May also showed her a couple of other options, including a stronger hand magnifier, just to check which was the most appropriate. But Peggy did well with those, and many patients do. Then though, May did go on to show us some other options, and the stand magnifiers are our other kind of choices. The little Visalette is a great magnifier for low vision children, I've found, but only gives about 2 times magnification, so not really enough in Peggy's case. So they went and had a look at some illuminated stand magnifiers. Like Peggy, many patients find this difficult when they first pick it up for the first time. It's kind of a bit awkward to get into the right position and work with, but once they get the idea that it sits on the page, it takes away that having to hold it, and then it can be a really useful device, and can be just as useful as the handheld device. And Peggy, in the end, I think will end up using a combination of hand and stand magnifiers because she did so well with both.
Okay, so we've done a few handheld magnifiers and a few stand-on magnifiers. Let's take a look at something for distance, okay? Now we can try this probably without your glasses, seeing as your glasses don't make too much of a difference to you. We'll take this out of the way. This is a telescope, okay? So it helps us to see things in the distance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus it for me, and you can do a bit of adjustment yourself as well. Okay, that's clear for me. If you bring this up to your good eye, so that's your left eye, and take a look through.
I can't see.
So aiming for the big board.
I can't work it.
Okay, let me take it down for a second. Can you see the big F on the top of the chart there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you bring this up, can you still see the F? It'll be really big. That's all right. It can be a little bit difficult.
That's better.
Oh, you've got it there.
Now I've got it.
Okay.
Do you want me to read it?
Well, just read the first letter on each line, maybe. Let's see how.
E, Z, H, P, V.
Good. And what about the next line down? Just the first
Oops.
letter.
R, D,
Good.
F, U, V.
Good. And the next one?
H, N,
Just going to move
D.
it closer.
H, N, D, R, U.
Good.
I don't know, I'm looking double.
That's okay. This can be very difficult to use.
Z,
Yeah.
V, U, D, N.
Good. And the next one?
No, I can see them, but they're double.
That's okay.
I've got two
That's all right.
pictures.
Have a rest. What some people use this for is to take a look at a bus number as the bus is approaching them. They'll bring this up, see what the number is, and then bring it down again. This isn't the type of thing we'd watch a movie with or even walk around with. It's just for spotting tasks. And in your case, that really did improve your vision, but it was very difficult for you to get into focus.
Yes.
I wouldn't say that was a stunning result.
I think it was the fact that I couldn't focus.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem is that your vision is probably a bit patchy because of the macular degeneration.
I think it could
So if
be.
you've got good patches and bad patches of vision that you're working with very well, sometimes if we put a magnifier right on top of that, it can make it very difficult to then keep working with those good patches of vision. So I think we'll just leave these aside for now.
Okay.
Okay.
One of the main difficulties that people with macular degeneration complain about is difficulty seeing the television and sometimes recognising faces at a distance. While we don't often prescribe magnification at distance, you can see that May showed Peggy what was available and an option for her in showing her the 4x12 monocular telescope. And you could see that it's really quite difficult to manage to start with. We'd expect with Peggy's level of distance acuity in her better eye being around 648 for her to be able to achieve 612, which she really didn't quite get to. Probably the best thing to suggest in that case is to have her sit much closer to the television or to get a television that has a larger screen.
When we were looking at all those other magnifiers, we were quite limited in terms of size, weren't we?
Yes.
And as we got the lenses stronger, they got smaller, so it really didn't help us.
No.
We can't really get around that when we look at a traditional magnifier. But if we move to an electronic magnifier, some of those problems do go away. So let me show you one now. So this has a little computer inside. The buttons are quite easy to use. I'll take you through that later. We can get this to sit on the page so it's nice and stable, just like before. But what we can do is we can increase the magnification and the screen's not changing, just what you're looking at. And we can make it smaller. So if you're reading the headline on a newspaper, we don't need as much magnification, we can bring it down. You've got that variability as well.
That's wonderful.
It is good. Now at the moment, what we've got it in is coloured mode. If I just put my hand underneath it, you can see that we're in coloured mode there. But it does have a black and white mode as well. Can you see the word turbulence there?
Yes, turbulence, smattering, harness. And do you know what I used to think was and is land?
Very good. And underneath that?
No.
It's okay, it's very small. And in fact, it's actually pixelled out.
Now, could you turn that back
Yeah.
to white?
To white,
with
yeah.
black writing?
I can do that. 2 seconds. There's a few modes to run through. Does that help?
No.
Not really, no. Better this way.
What a lovely that's a
Yeah.
lovely one.
Now, you did get a little bit better compared to the other magnifiers, the optical ones.
Yes.
And we do have the options to change the contrast and things like that. But you didn't have a significant improvement over the optical magnifiers.
No.
So
just
this
a
is
little
something
bit.
to consider.
Yeah.
One thing I will show you though, one thing it can do is you can actually take a photograph with this. So if you're in the shops, you can't see a price, you can take a photograph and then bring it way up to you and examine it.
Oh,
So you know those supermarket aisles where they've got the price tag way up the top?
that's
You
right.
can take a photograph and bring it down to you.
No, that's good.
That's something to consider as well.
Because you have to take into consideration the cost.
Yes,
May.
that's right.
Yes.
So the cost of these, you're looking at about $300 to $500 as a starting point with these. So they are a little bit more costly, and for some people, they can't do anything else. But in your case, you do have the option of the optical magnifiers.
Yes.
So if the convenience factors of this isn't going to be significant for you, I think you're better off with the normal optical magnifiers. Another option we have in terms of electronic magnifiers is to look at something that's incorporated into a tablet or iPad. Let me show you one. Have you seen one of these before? This is an iPad.
I've seen iPads, but I've never had one.
That's okay. For some people who already have an iPad, what we can do is install a free application that allows us to do some magnification as well. So you can see that the screen's quite big in this. And there's a little camera, it's right under there, under that corner there. Here we go. So if I hold that up, can you see some of the words there?
But I found that other one better than this.
Yeah. You prefer a purpose-built device rather than something that can do other things.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I can't read that.
You can't read it as clearly,
No.
can you? No. Okay. Well, this is something worth considering for patients who already have the device, but in your case, I think you're right. The device that did it all in one for you and was already set up is probably best.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, we'll tuck this one away too. Peggy, you did really well with the handheld magnifier, the electronic one, but there are desktop versions as well. And because they're a lot bigger, you can get a lot more magnification, but they're a lot heavier as well, so they do have to stay right in your room or on a desk or a dining table. Should we take a look at one of them now? Just through this way. I'm going to pull this chair out, Peggy. Just be careful sitting down. I'll make sure you're pushed in. Okay. So this is another computer-based magnifier. But as you can see, the screen's a lot wider.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the paper, the card that we're looking at, the things we're looking at is down here. But what you're actually going to be viewing is up on the screen. Okay.
Right.
So if you take a look at the word send up there, can you
Yes.
see that?
Yes.
We can make it bigger. We can move it around. That's right in the middle. And we can make it smaller too, depending on what you're reading. Okay. If we turn this, changes the contrast. So it gets brighter and darker rather.
No, okay.
So that's a bit dull, isn't it?
too dull.
Yeah, we'll bring it all the way back up.
That's better. No, that might be a bit bright.
That's a bit bright, okay, so we'll turn it down again.
That's it. Yes.
That's pretty good there. So if we do this, now that that's made it into black and white, if I wave my hand underneath it, can you see it's just black and white now?
No, it's
lost-
gone really dark now.
But we've lost the colour, so if I put my hand
Yeah,
there, it's just
yeah.
dark. We can make it a bit brighter though.
Yes.
And again, as with the other device, we can adjust the polarity so it's white on black.
Well, do you know, that seems better
That
than
seems
the other.
better. Excellent. Excellent. So if you look at the word send,
Send, bluntly,
excellent.
executives, jerk, apologetic, pilot.
Very good. What I'm going to do is increase the magnification.
Ah, that's
and we can
better.
actually move what
No,
we're
it's
reading.
plot.
Plot, very good.
Yeah. Quarrel, harmony,
Good.
specialist,
Good.
down,
Excellent.
abandon,
Perfect.
landscapes.
Perfect. Okay. So you got down to the very bottom there. Let's take a look at something a bit more real. So this is the newspaper.
Oh,
What can you read here?
for those of us who know it, was the last time we would see Emilio hosting a public event. There was a bittersweetness to the evening that words can't.
Oh, it's excellent. So that was pretty
That's
fluent and comfortable for you, and you could
Yes.
get the whole column in the one screen.
Yes. So that
Yes.
is not internet, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
What it is, there's a little camera underneath there,
Yeah.
and whatever it sees, for example, now it's seeing my hand. That's my hand there.
Yeah.
It'll project onto the screen.
Oh,
So it's
not
live
clever.
viewing.
That's marvellous.
Yeah. So you're actually reading whatever's on the page there.
That's wonderful. You want me to go back?
Yes, let's head back to the room now. Peggy, you did really well with 3 of the optical magnifiers. So let's go over them again. The first one was the glasses. So the strong reading glasses. And then we had the handheld magnifier, which was stronger than what you've had before,
Yes.
but very similar in that it still has the light and you still hold it up. And then there was the stand magnifier that sits on the page. Okay, let's give these a try, because you liked all of these and you found benefits with all of them. Let's give them a try with something a little bit more real. So instead of a reading card, let's try it on a catalogue. Okay,
Right.
we'll do the glasses first.
Yeah.
So I'll take yours off for you. Do you want to pop these on yourself? You can see how they feel. If I give you this catalogue,
Love is Valentine's Day,
does it look better if I push it a bit closer?
and then I don't read what's under it because it's very small, but I can see the 30% off L'Oreal skincare,
That's good.
and further down we have 15% off kitchen and cosmetic.
Okay. So you're getting most of that, but not all the small print.
No, and I can't
Okay.
read that down there.
All right. So that's not the best, that you can't
No.
read all of it.
No.
Let me take those off and I'll put on your own glasses again and we'll try the hand magnifier.
Okay.
So just position this the way you like to read. Can you read more now?
I can get down here now to see page 17 for exclusions.
That's important.
No rain checks.
That's an important one to know too.
So I can just read
Yeah.
that with that
I would
one.
say that's better than the glasses. Would
Yes.
you agree? Okay.
Yes,
So
much better.
okay, so we can rule the glasses out then. Let's try the one that stands on the page. Now with a floppy catalogue like this, you probably need something a bit firmer underneath it. See how that one goes. Remember?
So I can go down here now
Yeah, flat on the page.
and I see Target Essentials tank top, white,
Excellent.
8 to 20.
Good. And again, that's the small print.
Yes.
What do you think of that? Do you think that's
That's much better.
Yeah. Do you prefer that to the
Yes, I
handheld?
do.
Okay, and it does have the stability of sitting on the page.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So maybe that's the favourite one then.
Yes.
Yep, that's the go. We'll put these 2 away and we'll go with the stand magnifier. Peggy, you came in today wanting to get some help with your reading, to see if stronger glasses or a magnifier would help you. Firstly, we did take a look at what you were doing at the distance, and there was some small change in prescription, but it didn't improve you very much on the chart. So you only got a line and a bit of improvement, and in a real life situation, that's not really going to improve things. So the distance glasses didn't change much, or enough to make it worth your while. In terms of the reading glasses, we could improve things, but not as much as a magnifier would help you.
No.
Okay, so in terms of glasses, we're not going to change anything. Your glasses are still good to go. Looking at the magnifiers, I think your favourite of the optical magnifiers, so the lenses, was this one here. Okay, this is the one that stands on the page. It was stronger than yours, and it did have its own light.
Yes.
But if you remember, it did have the sides, and it is a bit bulkier.
Yes.
So if anything, this would work in addition to the magnifier you already have. So they'd work as a team. Maybe you'd take this one shopping, but keep this one at home for reading the newspaper. And you could read the catalogues quite clearly with this. So that's our favourite of the optical magnifiers. And in terms of the electronic magnifiers, I think your favourite was this one here. The iPad didn't work very well, but you did like this handheld electronic magnifier. There were benefits to this, although there weren't a lot of them. You could manage most things that you needed to see with the standard magnifiers. This just had a few features that were tempting, and you just need to decide whether you want to spend a few $100s on those features, or if you're happy just to use the standard devices.
Just stay the way I am.
Okay, that's fair enough. But this is something to remember for the future. If your
Yes,
situation...
because they are expensive.
Exactly. So if your vision changes, or if the things you're interested in doing change, you can always get this in the future.
Okay.
Okay?